Right, morning everyone. Welcome to the channel, CavokSim. It's 10:06 in the morning here in the UK. We're back in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, and today we are operating in the Himalayas, doing a daily Druck flight from Kathmandu over to Paro. Paro being described as one of the most dangerous airports in the world. There's approximately only 50 pilots that are actually licensed to fly into the airport, and we're going to try and make that number 51 today. So I hope you enjoy the stream. A little bit late starting, I just had to do a couple of little updates on my PC, but we're pretty much ready to go now, and I've just got GSX all sorted, starting to load the aircraft up, so we'll get that doing, and I'm just loading up vPilot to get us on to VATSIM. I think online there's one other aircraft here going to somewhere else, but as I hope you guys enjoy the stream today. Weather in Kathmandu, just looking outside the outside of the aircraft, looks quite murky, and some low clouds. Hopefully we won't find too much trouble in Paro, but we're going to be flying one of the cloud break procedures. It's a fully visual landing at Paro. If you've ever seen any videos from YouTube or other such platforms, you'll see it's quite hands-on, and Druck have a fleet of five A319 aircraft for the job. So yeah, just waiting for vPilot. Right, let's get ourselves logged in. So we're Druck 4, call signs Royal Bhutan 401 today. So let's get ourselves all set up. So I've got the flight panel loaded into the EFB. We're starting with the catering. We're getting fueled up right now. So let's just get the FMGC set up and loaded. So we'll take our load sheet. So we're quite high up as well today. We're in the region of about 4,500 feet here at Kathmandu, and Paro is around the 7,000 foot mark. So quite high up in the mountains. Our cruise altitude today for the flight is 31,000 feet. Can't talk today. Flight level 310, and with the winds currently at Kathmandu, we should be taking off towards the north on runway 02 towards the mountains, and the SID we've got planned is we'll go out circling round back over the airport and off towards Paro, and hopefully the clouds will disappear enough that we'll get to see some good views of the Himalayas, and hopefully Mount Everest as well. So flight plan's been put in. We've got the Costings X18 there. We're cruising flight level 310. Temperature on the ground here as well is very, very warm. Considering we're quite high up as well. It's 29 degrees. So might be a bit of a slow takeoff. Even though we're flying a little baby A319, it might take us a short while to get into the air today. But we'll see that when we set the performance. Right. So I've also elected to take a little bit of extra fuel as well. The block fuel that we have elected for is 7 tonnes. I've added about 1,200 kilos, just in case of any weather at the other end that we might have to hold for a short while. And that's also to consider, like I say, the holding and then a return, which is back here. And that'll also give us some holding fuel back here as well because of the weather here. Right, okay, so we're expecting departure off of runway 02, and we're going off it is an Igris 1 Charlie. With
hello, this way. This way.
Kimti was the transition. So Kimti transition. And arrival into Paro. I'll show you the charts in a second. So
This way, please.
doing the RNAV, we'll do the RNAV Zulu and subsea
May I see your
1
boarding pass?
arrival, and we'll go through that a little bit later in the flight. So as you can see, just on the ND here, you can see the takeoff. We're facing westbound at the moment on the ramp, so we're going to take off
Hello.
to the north, do this big arc round back over the airport, and then head off down towards our departure area.
Hello.
So all passengers are now boarding, fueling's done, they're loading the cargo.
Good afternoon.
Right, so I'll have a look at the load sheets, and let's just put in some initial weights. So
May I
go
see
to the
your
init B
boarding pass?
page. So zero fuel weight today is 54.3 tons, rounded up to the nearest 0.1 of a ton. So 54.3 slash, and we're looking for the
Welcome on board.
zero fuel weight 30.1%,
This way. Welcome on board.
and then a block fuel of 7 tons.
This way.
So back to the load sheets.
This way.
Fuel is what I want.
May I see your boarding pass?
Right, so trip fuel
Boarding pass, please.
2.1, contingency we've got 700.
Good afternoon.
Alternate fuel 2 tons,
Hello. Hello.
and Finres 1 ton.
Welcome on board.
And with a short wind.
Hello.
So we've got a tailwind of 26 knots.
Hello. This way.
That's probably because we've already put the winds in. So for this flight we've got an extra 1.2
Good afternoon.
tons.
Good afternoon. May I see your boarding pass?
Right.
Hello.
Okay.
Hello.
So let's just show you some charts then on the Navigraph app.
Welcome on board.
Take just a moment for this to load up. I haven't loaded this up yet, so
Good afternoon. This way.
right.
This way.
So we're doing an Igris 1 Charlie.
Good afternoon. Hello.
So our SID is, we'll take off a 02, we'll do this loop around to get the height up. We'll come all the way back around the west side of the field, back up to the north, and then head out to the east, cross the Igris, and then the transition we'll do, we'll fly this routing here to Kimti, and then we'll join this airway.
Passenger's bus is coming.
And then follow off to this waypoint Tumley, Meton, and back Dogra, and then up to Subsea where we begin the star into Paro. So a nice short flight today. Flight time about 46 minutes on the flight plan. It might be a little bit longer because we take our time at the other end, as we don't want to take any chances down in the valley. So Paro being a completely visual airport. So the procedure you fly, the RNAV procedure will fly. Let's just bring the charts up again. It's a what they call a cloud break procedure. So the approach is enough to get you down into the valley, but then you have to be visual at a certain point, and then you'll just fly visual into the field. So here's our star. So we're coming from Subsea to Papa Romeo 888, and then we'll go back to the chart, and then here's the routing in, what I'm planning to take today. So we'll come from Papa Romeo 888, follow this line here, and join the approach down into the valley, continue descending until we get to this point here, Papa Romeo 808, which is roughly overhead the field, and we'll be going down to a minimum of, where's the minimums here, so we're Cat C today, we'll go down to a minimum of 10,320 feet, which puts us about 3,000 feet above the airfield. So then we'll manoeuvre around in this valley here, probably take runway 15, 33, we'll see what the winds are doing, if we can get some weather for Paro, but we'll see how it is when we get there. We'll just manoeuvre around visually in this valley here to see what runway we can take, and we'll go from there. So all great fun. Right, anyway, so passengers have finished boarding, so we'll get the APU started up, get some air conditioning in, we'll do the performance, we'll check the updated load sheet. Right, so there's no I don't think there's any specific altitude we've got to be on the departure, so we'll go straight up to our cruise. I'll put 310 straight in, then put the constraints on there. We don't need airports on the other side. Right, APU is starting. Let's get the updated load sheet. Right then, so zero fuel weight then is dead on 54 tons, so that's correct, and the zero fuel weight centre of gravity is still the same, so we'll pop in 54 there. We've still got 7 tons of fuel. Right, let's get some figures for takeoff then. We'll sync the load sheet. Okay, we expect to take off 60.8 tons, sync the weather, we'll do calculate from full length, that's the only option it gives us. Calculate. Right then. Okay. So flap 1, up 0.6 on the trim, 60-degree flex. So it gives us a V1 VR 129, V2 133, and clean speed at 211. So that's all in there. Okay. So do we have anyone else about? No, we've just got that Indigo there. He's going to New Delhi. We're going the other direction. Right then, so GSX, let's get you ready for pushback. Air conditioning going on. So exterior power can come off.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
We are ready for push. So are we.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
So we'll run the before start checks in. Okay, we'll do the cockpit preparation first then. So gear pins, covers removed, fuel quantity is 7 tons, and it, fuel. So fuel is balanced. Seatbelts are on. ADRS are all in nav, and Paro ref 1010 1010 1010. So the before start checks in. Right, so park and brake is on. Takeoff speeds and thrust. So thrust is flex temp is 60. V1 is 129, VR is 129, V2 is 133, 129, 133, and checked. Windows both closed, and beacon is on. So we're going off a 02, so we want to go nose to the left. Nose left, tail right.
Release parking brakes, please.
And we'll just quickly tell them what we're doing.
Release parking brakes, please.
Kathmandu traffic, Royal Bhutan 401's pushing back from stand 8 to face south. Kathmandu
Release
traffic.
parking brakes, please.
Okay, brakes are released.
Commencing push.
Close the door.
All engines clear. Start happen.
And off we go. start selector is ignition. Engine 1 master is on. Into rotation. Waiting for fuel to come in. Fuel flow. EGT. M1 spinning, and oil pressure is rising. So letting the FADEC do its thing. Yeah, I'll be wearing shorts too if I was in this heat. Okay, so good start on the number 1, so start number 2. So master number 2 is on. So we're seeing duct pressure, into rotation.
Please set parking brakes. Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Set. So we have fuel flow, EGT, N1, and oil pressure.
Drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen.
Alright, so save a bit of time, we'll tell the ground crew we've got 2 good starts.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
There we do, engine 2 is now available.
Unlocking gear.
So we'll pop the terrain radar on as well, so we'll get some returns from the high ground down here. You can see all these red areas. It's all this high terrain. You can't see a lot of it through the cloud, but it is there.
Tow truck
hence this,
disconnected. Bypass pin
this
removed.
looping
Left
departure.
is clear. Right is clear.
Right then, so after start flow then, so we'll use the APU bleed, APU's off, taxi lights, so spoilers are on, flaps 1, engine ignition is normal, and reset the rudder trim. Right, so after start checks then. So anti-ice not required, ECAM status is checked, normal. Pitch trim was 0.6 up. And rudder trim is neutral. Alright, so we'll do control check then before we go. So we'll go elevators first, so we'll come fully back, 2 up, checking the PFD as well, neutral, fully forward, 2 down, back to neutral, fully left, elevator up, elevator down, spoilers, back to neutral, fully right, down, up, neutral, with the spoilers, back to neutral, fully left on the rudder, back to neutral, fully right on the rudder, back to neutral. So those controls are checked. Right then. I think we are ready to go. So taxi light, oh, there's my camera gone, go the wrong way. So taxi lights are on, left clear, right clear. Brakes off, we'll just announce where we are going. And we're heading down to Holden Point Echo. Kathmandu traffic, Royal Bhutan 401 is taxiing to Holden Point Echo from runway 02, Kathmandu traffic. Takeoff config. Very misty day out today. Right, so taxi checks, flight controls are checked, flap settings, config 1, radar and predicted wind shear is on and auto, engine mode selector is normal, and takeoff config, no blue. Taxi checks complete, lineup checks next. So I'll set the zoom range on the MyND right the way in, so we can keep an eye on this quite tight track we've got to fly. So a very short sector today. I've got a couple of errands to run later, so it's not going to be anything more than maybe an hour and a half stream today. So all being well, we're on the ground in less than an hour. This is Holden Point Echo. So we'll stop here for a moment and we'll set the parking brakes. And we'll have a quick look at that sim radar. Is anybody else coming in? Nobody is coming in, so let's get going. Right, so we'll set the strobes. Pop the TCAS on, we'll set the landing lights now. So brakes are off. Kathmandu traffic, Royal Bhutan 401 is entering to backtrack runway 02 via Echo, and we'll announce departure. Kathmandu traffic. So backtrack down runway 02 here. We're going to need all this runway. So a very warm day here today. So those of you that fly, though, warmer days, the air is obviously less dense, so you don't get as much airflow coming through the engines as you would on a normal day. Plus, bearing in mind we've got this 4,500 foot elevation above sea level as well, so the air is thin there as well. So even though our rotation speed's quite low for a little plane like this, we're still going to use a fair bit of runway. I'm sure probably at the other end as well, if we were to do the takeoff out of Paro, I'm sure we'd be using full toga thrust and maybe limiting our takeoff weight, because the runway's a fair bit shorter than here at Kathmandu. So we'll get ourselves turned around. We'll just do the lineup checks. Take off runway. So 02, TCAS is TARA. We've got both packs on. So let's get us lined up here. So hazy here, you can't even see the other end of the runway. Right. Okay, and those lights to take off. Alright, so we're heading out on the Egress Run Charlie. We'll announce that as well. Right then. Kathmandu traffic, Royal Bhutan 401's taking off runway 02 on Egress Run 1 Charlie departure. Kathmandu traffic. So engine stable. Take off. Okay, so Manflex 60 SRS runway, order thrust is blue. So half side stick forward until 80 knots. So take off power set, keeping the centre line with the rudder. So there's 80 knots. So side stick is neutralised. So keep it straight with the rudder. It's a little bit variable down the runway. So V1. Rotate. Still keeping straight down with the rudder. V2, positive rate, gear up. Onto the flight directors. So very, very slow climb out here. So there's the start of our right-hand turn. So still tracking this, still tracking the flight director. Okay, so climb thrust. Lower the nose slightly to let the plane accelerate. You can see these high mountains all around the north side of the field here. This is why we're going around, doing this big looping manoeuvre to get ourselves up. Climbing at the moment at a very leisurely 1500 feet a minute. Still manually flying the aircraft, so I'm just following the flight director. Turn now for this next turn. So there's the airspeed flaps are coming up. So the maximum speed around here on the SID is 220 knots. So once we get to 220, the pitch bar will command us to pitch up, so we can maintain 220 knots. There we go. We get a bit of a better rate of climb now. So climbing upwards about 3,000 feet a minute now. Still in a right turn. Still manually flying. Bit of a wind shift there. So we're up in this cloud layer now, so we're not seeing too much of the ground anymore. That's what this SID's designed to take care of. Keep us out of the way of terrain. So we're passing through 9,500, 9,600 now. So we've set all the way up to flight level 310, which is our cruise level for the flight today. It's 10,000 feet, so we'll take the lights off. I think the Kathmandu will let them get on with their job. So we'll pop the autopilot in now, so AP1 is on. Let's just bring up the charts again. Show you where we are. Right. So there we are, we've come all the way around here. We're around this point now, Kilo Tango 830. We're now doing this big loop round. We're above that altitude restriction to be above 7,500. We're well above that now. Still coming up. I don't know why it's doing that, I've done that several times. Right, so above the transition altitude now, so we're going to standard. A little look outside there, there's the airport down there, so we've come all the way around. We'll go all the way back round and then we'll head off down in that direction. Himalayas looking good out the front window there. So we're still doing a quite slow speed. We're still doing 230 knots indicated at the moment, which is demanded by this point here. So hopefully when we get past that, the the plane will dip its nose again a little bit, let us accelerate, and then we'll head off out en route. But you've got to keep the turns quite tight, so that's the reason for the slower speeds. So there we go, we've passed that point now, so we're going to go on up to our en route climb speed now, 268 knots. .288 knots even. So we've been in the air for about just over 9 minutes. We're already up at 21,500 feet. Back there, so we've taken off this runway here, gone up, round, big loop around. Marvellous. So folks, if you're watching at home, liking what you're seeing at the moment, don't forget, give us a subscribe and like the video, share it with your friends. I'm back to streaming, trying to stream once a week now at least, at a minimum. So you also get a chance as well. Check out some of the other videos on my channel. I've mostly live streamed for the most part, but there are some other videos on there. I did an approach video using Just Flight's 146 into Paro, so that's a great video to see. There's also some other videos of flights from various places around the world, so yeah, check them out. So if you like what you see, give us a subscribe and hit the notification as well. So anyway, back to the job in hand here, flying Royal Bhutan 401. Right, so we are currently 288 knots in the climb, pass through flight level 243, going up to flight level 310, and we'll be level in about 30 miles just past Kimti. A few clouds out about. Quite a fair bit of the Himalayas is obstructed by cloud at the moment, so hopefully a bit further along we'll get to see hopefully Mount Everest, which is a little bit around there somewhere. It seems smooth at the moment, so we'll get rid of the seatbelt signs. So where are we? We're at Kilo Tango 946. Yeah, about 946 Kimti, and we'll do a fuel check at Tonley. So looks like fly live as usual. It's done its usual thing of I'm going to decide not to play ball. Let's reset that, shall we? So I'm just wondering, will we have some weather for Paro? Okay. So the nearest weather station that's actually broadcasting weather is from 50 miles away, which I don't know where. Pakyong. So that is a place just to the northwest of Subsu. So it's this place here. Ooh. So if the weather's like that in Paro, we're going to have a very, very interesting approach. So the wind's 200 at 3, so a nice light wind. We've got 3,000 metres, rain, broken at 1,500 feet, broken at 10,000 feet, a temperature of 22 and 19, the dew point. Sorry, mist, not rain. That should make for a very interesting approach. Right, okay then, so we're just levelling at flight level 310. And also to add to our consideration as well, we've got another aircraft inbound to Paro from an airport a bit closer to us. Place here, so he's just departed now. We're about halfway, so he should be on the ground a lot sooner than us, so I don't think that'll be a factor. trying to work out where Everest is. Oh, I'm going to imagine that's Everest over there. It looks about the right shape. Right, okay. Surrounded by cloud. Oh, we don't have any contrast today. Right, anyway, let's have a look at what we are doing then. So we're going to pop in the right. So we'll take the weather information from this airport that's broadcasting that's near. Forget the name of it. So we'll put the QNH1011. Temperature is 22. The wind 200 at 3. Right. So the star. So if we just have a quick look at the star, because we're going to need to build some of this approach as well. So from Subsu, we're going to Papa Romeo 888. We've got a maximum of flight level 170 at 185 knots, which is there. And then we need to, because in the flight plan it goes from 888 to 818, which is what do we say, Zulu. So 818 is here, so we're missing this whole route around into here. So we'll pop that in. So we'll put these in now. So 744. Papa Romeo 842. Papa Romeo 730. Papa Romeo 799. And it goes Mr. Paro 818. So I'll clear the discontinuity. We'll insert that. So that should give us a nice line from 888, 744, 842, 730, 799 and 818. Zoom a touch more. So 818, 816. So we need to be 13,800 feet, 145 knots maximum. 814, 812, 810, 808. Right, so let's pop in the altitude constraints that we need for these points as well. So Papa Romeo 888 we have. We need to be at so that's saying 17,800, so we don't actually need to be, it doesn't say at, so I'm going to take that as we don't need to be at these altitudes, so we need to be at 13,800 at 816. So if we go to 816, so that is saying 13,800, speed 145, so that's correct. And then we want to be 808, saying 10,275. So we'll change that to the minimum of 10,320. So as we're Cat C today for our approach speed, we'll say 1020 in there, we'll insert that. So that will give us a nice descent profile. So we need to be visual in the valley by the time we get to that point. Right. So the missed approach then, so if we're not visual by the time we get to 808, we then go straight into the missed approach. So the missed approach then is 706, 710, 712, 714, 746, 848, 777, and we'll do this big arc round. So 794, all the way back around to 796, 798, 777, and we'll probably hold, which will then, we'll pop the hold in, because if we have to hold, we can then set up for a new approach. So we'll do the inbound course, that is 354, 354, insert the hold, and then we can set up for a new approach. Just look at that. Yeah, there's the hold. Okay. Shortly time to begin descent as well. I also need to look at, well, there's no METAR for Paro, so we'll take the data we've got from this other airport. Right, so 1011. QNH. 1011. 22 degrees. And the wind was. What was the wind? What was the wind? What was the wind? What was the wind? 2003. We're inclined to silly home. So the wind was what are you doing? Two zero zero at 3. First levers are incline. Daft issue I'm having with the Phoenix at the moment. It keeps coming up with problems with the thrust levers, telling me that they keep coming out of the detent. I don't quite know how to sort it. Right, anyway. Okay, we need to start getting down then, so we'll go down to our... Go down to roughly what the transition altitude is, level is. So 150. Let's have a little look at quickly calculate what our landing weight is going to be. So we're going to be landing with 4.9 tons. So that's okay, 100 kilos. So 50. We'll say 58.9 then. So 58.9 tons. We'll use medium order brakes, so it gives us landing distance of 1698 metres, stop margin or factor distance 1953, so we can land with medium order brakes. Good. We'll try to need some speed brakes on them just to get us down. Right. Plan for runway 15. We'll see what the weather's doing as we get into the valley. There's quite a fair bit of cloud around still, so we'll see how we do on the way in. If I don't think I can get into Paro, then it may be a case that we go back to Kathmandu because the weather there was okay. So speed brakes are in, we'll put the belts on. So we're now starting into the star. drag again. Messages. Oops. ADC for 1 minute. Late arrival of the ground crew. There you go, sorted. Right then. So going through flight level 240. Lots of cloud about. So we'll make a blind call in on the traffic frequency. Tell everybody what we're doing. I don't really need anybody around, but we still make the blind calls anyway. Paro traffic. Royal Bhutan 401 is inbound on the Subsu 1 arrival, and we'll be joining the Arnav Zulu. Expected to land runway 15 at Paro. Paro traffic. Right then, so aircraft starting to slow now for the 185 knot restriction at 888. So we'll just put some speed brakes in just to give it a hand. You can see the mountains are starting to rise up towards us now. So the whole idea of this cloud brake procedure is where Paro is a visual airport. It's situated in a very deep valley. They needed the procedure to be able to get aircraft in safely down into the valley, and be able to make a visual ident of the airfield before doing the visual manoeuvre around into either runway 15 or 33. So that's what this procedure is for. So it's to help aircraft like us, which is RNAV capable, follow this precise track in through the mountains and get us into a point where we can actually come off of instruments and fly visual around in the valley and get us to a point where we can actually make the runway. Right, so we're not doing very well to get ourselves down, so I'll come out with full speed brakes. It's supposed to be sitting at 185 knots, which at the moment is not happening. Okay, so we'll go. So the QNH now 1011. I'm just going to go to VS just to take out some of this speed. We'll get some flaps down, get us back to the speed we need to be at. Flap 1. this up a treat. Okay, so we're below the flap 2 speed, so we'll get flap 2 in. That'll help us get our speed back. Get us back on profile as well. So we see us coming around the corner here now. We want to be at 145 knots, 13,800 feet. Okay, so we've got the lights on as well. Take the gear down. Go flap 3. Put the speed brakes back in. How high are we? We're about 800 feet high at the moment as well.
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
We know about the terrain, so we can disregard. Still on a good track. We'll go flap full as well now. So the speed brakes need to come in. So go back to managed speed now, and we'll go 10,400, which is just above the minimums.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain
So
ahead.
yeah, as you can see, it's
Pull
very
up.
murky out here.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Okay, so we're at the restriction. So we're
Terrain ahead.
fully configured.
Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
So the airport sits around this, down behind this edge of this hill. So what we'll probably do, we'll fly down, we'll do a circle round, and then we'll come back in, round the valley again, back to runway 15. The weather isn't too bad. So we can see the runway's just there. So what we'll do, we'll fly over, we'll disengage the autopilot, we'll come back round, back over this ridge, turn in the valley, and then back in. So you can see where this track is bringing us in, it'll now bring us back to the left, fly us over here, and the missed approach point's around about here somewhere, level with the runway. So So still descending. You can see all these major valleys around the airport. So that's what the this cloud break maneuver is for. Gets us down into the valley so we can get visual of the field, which we are. So there's the runway down there. So we'll come back round and then we'll position. So we'll position back where we are now, but a few thousand feet lower. So we'll come back round the boat over this bridge. Set up quite nicely. Right, so the autopilot's going to come out then. So autopilot's out. We'll take the flight directors off. We'll put the bird on. So we'll fly overhead for a moment, and then we'll do a turn, and then we'll come back round. So there's the airport down there. Set up quite nicely. Air traffic, Royal Bhutan 401 is overhead the field. It's going to position right downwind for a visual approach runway 15, Paro traffic. So we'll check on the cabin, warm them. We are climbing slightly. So we're nicely visual. So we'll get a gradual descent going. We'll come past this ridge and then we'll turn again in the valley and then we'll follow the river down. Missed approach altitude. What was the missed approach altitude? That's one thing we did not brief. 16,000. So there goes the ridge. So we've set 16,000. We'll follow the ridge line round. We'll carry on descending again. Still about 2,000 feet above the field. We are fully configured for landing. Cabin crew, are you ready for landing? So we need this nice slow speed here, because when we do this
Terrain
turn,
ahead. Pull up.
so when we do this turn,
Terrain ahead. Pull up.
The cabin is now secure for landing.
Terrain ahead. Pull up. Terrain ahead. Pull up.
Come down a little bit lower than I was expecting to do.
Terrain ahead. Pull
So a
up.
nice tight bank
Too low
round.
terrain. Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't
We
sink.
kind of need to get the height off now.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Come on, Sim.
Don't sink.
Okay.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
So any of you Airbus flyers that are watching this, I'm not flying this thing very well at all today.
Don't sink.
Right, okay.
Don't sink.
Too much bank
Don't
and
sink.
too low on the airspeed.
Don't sink.
Yeah, it's not
Don't
the best
sink.
flying I've ever done, but hey ho. Right, anyway,
Don't
so we'll
sink.
follow the river round and round
Don't
past
sink.
the ridge and in.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Paratraffic, Royal Bhutan 401 is finals runway 15 to land. Paratraffic.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
Wind's light, about 9 knots.
Don't sink.
There's the runway. So we need to just
Don't sink.
follow
don't
around. We're probably a little bit high.
Don't sink.
Let's run that.
Don't sink.
Turn that off. A tight left turn round to the runway. Over the rudder. There we are, we're ground. Spoilers, reverse thrust. Decel. That was shocking. Right, so all the brakes off. Reverse thrust is cancelled. Well, it's not the best landing I've ever done here. I've not done that for a while, so yeah, I'll take that. So we'll roll out to the end of the runway. Let's put the chrono on to give us our 3 minutes for engine cool down. Come on, little Airbus. Bit of a hill here. It wasn't the nicest of approaches I've ever done to this airport. I haven't done very many, and I've not done it very recently either, so she's on the ground, but that's what matters. So we'll just on the Unicom. Paratraffic, Royal Bhutan 401's vacated runway 15, taxi into the apron. Paratraffic. Right, so speed brakes. Flaps can come up. So yeah, Yeah, don't do what I did. It was an alright landing, I think. Not the best. I could have gone a little bit further out in the valley, I think, before turning back round. And I could have made it a little bit better in terms of descent profile. But, so we're on the ground, that's what matters. Definitely sure the real airline won't be hiring me anytime soon for that. Yeah, we'll take that. Alright, anyway, let's find some parking. We'll go stand 4. So this is one of the handcrafted airports. It's ships with flight simulator. I think it comes with the deluxe version. I don't know, I can't remember, but it's not a bad little airport. There's some freeway sceneries that are about as well. If you look on flightsim.to, there's some freeway scenery for Paro. But I haven't tried installing that in 2024 yet. So we're with the stock scenery for the time being. Right, so there's our 3 minutes, which means we can shut down the engines now. Let's give them time to cool down. There's our ground crew waiting for us at stand 4. As always, I forgot to do a replay. Would have been interesting to see a replay of that landing. That was no, you're not meant to stop. Right, let's take the taxi lights off. Raring on to stand here. Oh, too fast, too fast, too fast. Oh no. Oh, rubbish. Oh, that was rubbish. Oh, sorry, Graham. Sorry, Mr. Marshaller. He's going to come and tell me off now. Right. Cut engines. So, engine 1. Engine 2. There we go, there's the changeover onto the APU bus. The engines to spool down a touch. Zero the stop the timer. So it's 1 hour 11 minutes from pushing back at Kathmandu. Wait for the N2 to go below 10%, then we can switch the beacon off. Beacon off, seatbelts off.
The boarding requested.
Right, there we are. Well, there we go then, guys. So nice little stream for today. Kathmandu to Paro. I might have to try that one again because that landing was absolutely awful in my opinion. That is not the best flying I've ever done. So So I'd be willing to give that one another go at some point. So yeah,
Passengers bus.
not sure what you thought of that. If you liked it, thumbs up. If you didn't, maybe another time. Right, anyway guys, yeah, so those of you watching at home, if you liked what you saw, give us a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, think about subscribing to the channel, and if you want to see more content. I'm trying to get live streams out weekly, and I'm going to attempt to try and get some more
Passengers
run-of-the-mill
boarding
videos out on the channel as well. So for now then guys, have a great day. I'll see you all again next time, and have a great day. Bye bye.